and that is one of the things that I really hate the most when authors try to do this. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Queen of Hearts by Colleen, a YA, and as the title says and suggests, this is basically the backstory of the Queen of Hearts. Now, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this book. It was definitely a roller coaster. Yes, it was a ride, that is for sure. And I've also heard a lot of mixed reviews about this. Basically, I saw someone on BookTube saying that they wanted to read this book, and what did I say? Of course I said, oh, I want to read that too. Because it just sounds interesting, right? I mean, the backstory of the Queen of Hearts, and also it sounds really dark. It says, evil is rising in Wonderland. What else do you need to get into this book, right? Well, let's talk a little bit about this because, again, a lot of mixed feelings. If you are wanting to read this because you think that you're gonna get a realistic version of this, and by realistic, I mean, but like something that would fit the Lewis Carroll books of Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass, you won't get that. So if you're going with the idea of a backstory of the Queen of Hearts that will fit this, it's not. It is YA, obviously. But what really struck me as weird is that from the very beginning, this character that is supposed to be super evil is actually not mad, like most of the characters in Wonderland. I do have a question. Like, first of all, it is supposed to be called Wonderland because Alice goes in this world. The Red Queen is already the Red Queen, and she calls it Wonderland. Now, why is it called Wonderland before that? Does that make sense? It doesn't to me. But it doesn't matter. I get the idea. Again, if you're trying to go through this thinking that you're gonna get the backstory of the books, you will not. I feel like this fits more the movies where Helena Bonham Carter is the Queen of Hearts and you have Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter. I think these books fit more towards that world, in my opinion at least. So what do we see in this book? We see her as a teenager, and I was surprised to see that she was actually a sweet kid. That was weird because when you see her as a grown-up, she's just mad. She's insane. So you think there must be something really wrong with her mind, right? Like she should be a psychopath, she should be a crazy lady from the beginning. There should be weird, red flags when she is younger, and this is not the case. She's actually, I think, quite a normal teenager. Her mom passed away, so she's dealing with that in the way that I think most people would. The problem, I think, is the father, the King of Hearts. He is the crazy one. So we are actually seeing how she fears him, really. And my dog is making noises. You okay? She fears him, really. She's afraid of his father. She is constantly seeking the approval of him, but also fearing him. It hit hard, for me at least, the situation and the relationship that she has with her father, which is something that I totally understood. But I think the problem is that he's the crazy one, and I do think that the author here is trying to mirror that, like how she hates that. And a lot of the time while you're reading the book, you're seeing her thinking, oh no, when I am a queen, this is going to change, and when I am a queen, there's not going to be all of this injustice. And she also goes through the beheading of the heads, and when she's watching that, that she doesn't like it. And I think she also thinks they're like, oh, when I'm a queen, this is not going to happen. And it is really interesting to see how the author is trying to make her really not wanting this. And then I am truly interested to read the next books, because if you are having such a sweet character and someone that really doesn't want to follow through the steps of the King of Hearts, then what really dark stuff has to go through, this character has to go through a bunch of really horrendous things to become this person. And I think that's what the author is trying to do, and what we are gonna go through the next books. So definitely an interesting read. Now, however, there were stuff that I didn't like and that really bothered me the first time that I was reading this. Because again, if you're expecting to go through this trying to follow the story from the Lewis Carroll books, you won't get there. Now, I had a problem with Wonderland. The way that the world was built. World building was not my favorite in this book. Mainly because it felt like the author was trying to make Wonderland real. She was trying to bring this fantastic, beautiful world that is supposed to have no head, no tail, that you're supposed to have all of these crazy characters that make absolutely no sense, make this ridiculously insane, and she was bringing that into the real world. And that is one of the things that I really hate the most when authors try to do this. And what I mean by this is that everyone was pretty rational in this book. Pretty rational in this book, but it didn't look like anyone was as crazy as you see them in the books or in the movies. They were talks about religion, and it was not a huge thing, like it was not part of the main plot or part of the main story, but it was put there. The fact that there was religion in this world, the fact that there was politics and war. I guess the politics and the war is part of Wonderland as well, but religious really... Why are we talking about this in this book? Why are you bringing this into the real world? Why are you doing this? I don't like that at all. And I think that was my main concern with this. My main, the number one thing that really made me feel like I didn't love this book as much. Everything else I think was really well done. I've also heard things about the romance. This has no romance whatsoever. And if it's there like not really. There's like parts in the books where you can see that she has a crush on someone, but that someone doesn't appear to have a crush on her, so it's not... if it's just one-sided, I don't think that we can really call it romance. At the end, we are wondering, like, do they actually like each other or not? So if you are trying to get in there with the idea that there's going to be romance in the book, there is not, thankfully, because I am not a huge fan of romance. And I also don't think that you should put a romantic situation in this character if you're trying to make her be the freaking Queen of Hearts, like this really evil character. She's probably gonna have her heart completely broken. She's gonna go through dark paths. She's gonna go insane in the process, to the extent that you're turning this really sweet girl into the thing that she basically hates and fears the most, which is her father. That is the brilliant part of this book, if you ask me. So I would recommend you to read it if you like any of these things that I just talked about, any of the traits. But if you're going to go into it, just make sure that you're not expecting it to be, the books, like the backstory of the books. It fits more into the story of the movies. We also have the appearance of the Mad Hatter. I didn't love the way that this was made, the connection to the Red Queen that he had. I didn't like it. Maybe it is a different Mad Hatter. I won't know until I continue with the series, which I definitely would, because I am intrigued, actually. And I think that's the main focus of the book, is just to keep you intrigued, to keep you second guessing and wondering why and how. Mainly, that is it. How are you going to turn this child into this monstrous thing? We also have Bittery, which is the White Queen later on, and there's still a lot of mysteries with her and her mother as well. So yeah, I am excited to see how this turns out, how the author is going to tackle all of these things that she left unanswered in the first book. And I am interested to see how she's going to create in her story and in her world, the freaking Queen of Hearts, that is for sure. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this a thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you want more book reviews, reading blogs, and all of these bookish related things. Make sure you subscribe and leave me down in the comments below if you read this book, what are your opinions and thoughts on it, and also if you want to read it, let me know why, and if this convinced you to read it or to not read it. And I guess that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you readers in the next one. Bye. And it is, oh, what?